Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session on Get and GitHub Demystified, a comprehensive introduction. I'm Nirupama Singh, and I'll be talking about Get and GitHub to you. And thank you so much for joining me today. Hello, everyone. I am Nirupama Singh, and I work as a front-end engineer at Rescale, and we'll be working about studying about Git and GitHub, how this works. It will be a basic introduction, and we will just start. I will share my screen. Yes. So I hope you all can see my screen. Now we'll be talking. We'll be moving forward, and this is the basic logo of GitHub that I really wanted to add. It looks great. So then, introduction to GitHub. So, what is Git and GitHub? These are two varying words, right? We'll be using, but I can assure you by the time you end this session, let's just that you'll be using Git and GitHub. So, before describing what they are, let me tell you how they work and how you can simply in 2-3 steps can get it done on your system. So, for you to be able to use Git and GitHub, you should go to github.com, simply register yourself, and create your GitHub ID. And if you're a student, it is highly likely you have a college, school ID. You have a ID allocated to you by your school or university. You can definitely use that ID to register, because it will then give you a lot more benefits than using your usual ID. You'll be able to access a lot of free applications and features and accesses to a lot of technical learning platforms where you can learn and upskill yourself. Then once you're done making a GitHub account, all you got to do is, if you already edit your code on your system. You already have, for example, VS Code. My favorite is VS Code. So you just have to have that, and then go through your terminal, and once that is done, so third step is installing Git. How can you install Git? You can go to the official website of Git from Google and download the application that works for you, Mac or Windows. And then once it is installed, all you have to do to check that you have Git installed or not is type Git in your terminal, and it will give you a long list of you have Git installed in your system. So these were three easy steps. Now you have GitHub.com. Now you have Git. But what are these things? What are you supposed to do with these? So first of all, what is Git? Git is a command line version control system. Uh, let's start with breaking the words here. What is version control? So for example, I'll take a simple example of any social media post that we a lot of us make on daily basis or hourly basis, for that matter. So when you make a post, you actually sometimes feel like you need to edit something. So that is when you go to the edit feature, you edit the stuff you wanted to edit, and then you say click on the save button, and then the the latest version is shown. So you had version 1 initially where you thought you want to change something, and there's version 2 where you change something. So now what you have to do is you for example, you will be, if you do it for many times, you actually won't remember what was the first version of it, what was the first version, how you started it. So you can simply go to the edit logs, or usually these are featured as edited button where you can check what all you have edited. So these are basically 5 different versions of it. So you are able to control which version you're viewing or using, ha- because you have access to history logs. So command line version control system means that you can manage the version controls of your GitHub project using command line very easily, using all the commands that Git provides to you, that are so well developed that creates a whole ecosystem of a proper functioning collaborations and teams and management of code. So second of all, Git is open sourced. What does open source means? Oh, Git is open source means that once, for example, it's my code and it's other person's code up there on the internet, on github.com, and if it is publicly available, you can simply start working on it. You try to contribute to it, but definitely learn from it, which means all the code on Git and GitHub is actually free of cost and open source. Next point, exactly free. Git does not take you cost you any money for doing any task that you wish to do, and it will be free of cost for the next 10 years, 30 years, 40 years. So every project which uses Git has a .git folder in it at the top. So whatever the root directory of your project is, exactly inside that at the top you'll be able to figure out a .git folder, which will actually establish and let you know that this is a Git file, and it actually establishes the connection with the internet, and your online code. So it works offline too, which means that you do not have to go on Google Chrome to do it. All you have to do is work on your simple code editor and wait for the internet to come when you're willing to publish this code. Next, what is GitHub? It is just a website that allows you to store all your work online free of cost. So, storing your work online free of cost, all these things. So, what type of work? So, all of your code that you code on daily basis, it's in your system. Either there could be many things that could go wrong, or that you wanted to do extra. You wanted to show your code to your friend easily, or you wanted to, or your hard drive crashed and you have lost, you might lose access to your code that you've written in so many lines, has 40 GB of content in it. So basically, github.com is a cloud service for all the code that you have done, and you can simply do it by establishing Git in it, and then it goes straight up to github.com. as a public or a private folder, and you are able to view it and store it without any cost, without any extra any feature at all. It is simply taking your code from you and keeping it with itself for you to access anywhere at all times. It is online, so you can use it through internet. So how do you upload a code on github.com? So as you can see here, the three steps, that you should have a local code folder, you should create a repo on GitHub. So repo is basically a folder, a code folder inside a GitHub, is named a repository by GitHub, and we usually use the slang repo for it. Then step 3 is link them to share it or store it online. All you have to do is have a simple uh, you know um, local folder, and I have a code for calculator over there, and I will create an empty repository up on my GitHub, and I will link these two such that I am able to upload the code from the GitHub command line to my online repository for me to store that code, or for me to share it with us to learn it together. So you might have already heard the word repository. See, these are some words I'll be repeating a lot, and now I'll be explaining them to you. So what is a repository? A repository, as I explained before, is a basic folder, just a new name for a code folder that is used inside GitHub. So it is, but the features that it provides are various, and they are actually very beneficial once you check out settings and other features, insights and stuff available in a GitHub repository. You'll be able to see that it is the perfect collaborating tool, management tool, and so on. Then there is pull, push, commit and branch. So I'll be going in a particular order, where comes first, then push, then pull. So, what is the meaning of commit? Okay, let's just go from pull and push first. So, basically, what is pull and push? You know the basic English meanings of pull and push. Now, git pull and git push are commands that go inside the GitHub command line and git command line. Once you click enter those commands, you are actually trying to pull the code from, either if it's good git pull, then you're trying to pull the code from the internet to your system, or if it's git push, you are trying to push the code that you've just done from your system to your internet, to your online GitHub repository. So then what is commit? Commit is basically, so I'm done with my work, I've coded a lot. Now I want to first settle in all the changes that I've made. So I'll be adding those changes. Then that is where git add comes in. Then we enter the command git commit with a commit message, so that whenever whatever the changes I've made, actually, in case I want to go back, so this each commit actually creates a version for you. So it's whenever you want to look back in time, this commit or the last commit or the previous commit, these are the three four versions of it. So whenever you want to go back, control your version, recheck what your code looked like in the first commit, these are important to have a process proper message, so that you are able to figure out what you did. So for example, if I'm changing three heading topics in a code, and I'm committing those changes and then pushing the code, then I'll be writing git commit quotes, and I'll write a message heading changed, so that in case later down the line I want to check why did I work on this particular day, what did I change, so I can simply open the commit logs and see that, oh okay, I had changed the headings, and okay, that works for me. And this I can even check out the version from that day, what it looked like even after all the changes that were made after it. But I can go back in time and look. Branch. So let's talk about one of the other features of Git and GitHub that we haven't been able to figure out yet: collaboration, team collaboration. So I will take an example of a college project. I am here in place A, and there's my teammate in place B. Then there's another one in place C, and the uh, fourth one is in same as me, that is place A. So we two are in place A and there are two other people in different places, and but we are supposed to work on the same project. We are supposed to make this work and we are supposed to submit it to our university as soon as possible. So how do we work together? And we are supposed to make a website, and in a seamless manner, no manual work, no nothing. So what GitHub provides to you is the perfect team collaboration platform. All you have to do is be collaborators on your project, s- clone clone that code in your local repository. So all the four of the team members clone the code and create a local folder in in their laptops. They start working on it in their VS Code. So they've decided that I will be doing page index.html, someone will else will be doing the other HTML page. So there are 4 5 HTML page and they've divided it among themselves, but they do not want to bother the main code that was there initially or whatever the stage they had reached before. So what they do is, whenever we make a GitHub repository, a origin or a main branch is created. To be able to work without bothering that code and having a lot of people work together, GitHub provides you a feature of branch where you can make branches of your GitHub repository and work parallelly. And eventually, later down the line, when you feel like you've all done the work, you can actually start merging the work and create a perfect origin or main branch for you to submit to your university. So how is this helping me? This is helping me because when I'm working in file A, the person working in file B is making a lot of changes. They're downloading different dependencies for themselves and so on, so forth. But those changes won't show in my local repository, right? So for me to be able to, but they won't show. But once I push my code and the same other person push the codes, if there is any clash between the dependencies, or maybe accidentally they worked on the same code line, then there is going to be an issue with the merging. And so to simply avoid that, they can work in different branches: person A's branch, person B's branch, person C's branch, person D's branch. And once they are done working, they can use the git merge command and simply pile up their work together in the main branch. Right. So next we have git merge. So what is git merge? As I just discussed, there are 2 3 people working on the different files. But let me just take an example of a same file. I worked on line from 4 to 50, and another person worked on line 51 to 60, and so on. But accidentally, two of the same people, due to maybe indentation or something, worked on the same line. So now when I'm pushing my code to github.com, a clash is showing that the person B has already made a change on line 6, and you have also made it. So which one do you want to keep? This is what git merge does. Now you will enter the git merge command. It will show you a UI where it will give you a few options. A could be keeping your own change and discarding the other person's change. B could be keeping the other person's change and discarding yours. C could be keeping both of them, and D could be removing both of them. So in that case, GitHub provides you a very functional, proper. Yes. So once you are able to decide what side you'll be picking, what line of code you want to keep, you can simply go on from there. Then comes git log. What git log does is it simply gives you a whole huge file of things that that you did right and you did wrong, in case you want to check anything that went wrong and trace back it, and you're not able to figure it out manually. You can always use git log and work from there. Then git init. So to be very honest, git init is the first command that you should know. But you can so it will be the first command you will usually be using if you're not manually uploading or cloning from your github.com. So basically, I have a calculator for code in my local system. I made that calculator about 2 years ago, and it's in my local folder. Back then, I did not know what is GitHub. So now I know. Today, I know what is GitHub, and I just saw that okay, maybe I can put up my calculator up on GitHub to store it there better, or maybe send it to you to a few people, or have it on my GitHub profile as a task I had done. So uh, all I have to do is and then I initialize git in the local existing folder from the folder has been there for 2 years. Now I'm initializing git in it. A .git file appears in it, and git is initialized, but it still lacks a few steps. It is still not up there on github.com on your profile. So for that to happen, you have to set up a few things. You have to set up your username, your name from your command line, your GitHub username and name and password from your github.com to your command line, so that your git is connected to github.com, and there is a seamless process there. Once that is done, you can simply push a upstream branch or towards your make a repository and push a upstream branch to it, and the same code that has been there for 2 years will be up there on the internet on github.com in 4 to 5 easy commands. And as Reset suggests, it is one of the best features, yet the biggest risk that you can ever take. So whenever you are committing changes, and as we have been talking about different versions, so for example, I have 11 versions, and I just made the 12th version. I made the 12th commit of my code, and something went wrong. I cannot figure out what went wrong. I cannot see, I cannot check, and I've tried a lot. So what I want thought of is maybe I'll go back to the last version of it, and I will simply start working on that feature again. So for that to happen, how can I simply just remove the last commit? You can use the git reset command. Although considering that what you could have made a lot of changes, or you could have added a few dependencies there could be a lot of things that you should consider before resetting. But if as long as you're aware about your own code, git reset is a great command to follow. uh, this is all from my side. um, And thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I hope you take back something from here. You can always drop in your doubts in the chat available. And thank you so much. I hope I was able to add value to your learnings. Thank you.